नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य स्वराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। हरि ओम तत्सत्। जय गुरु। So the topic we selected this time is the role of Vichara in Bhakti. Generally, Vichara is considered to be the greatest sadhana in the path of knowledge. When we are given to, when we want self-realization and walking on the path of self-realization, then meditation is not the ultimate, the Vichara is the ultimate. Vichara means a constant introspection with our buddhi to differentiate between what is real and what is unreal. What is real and what is unreal, that Vichara comes much later. Initially, what is a non-changing, unchanging long-term truth and what is very futile, fast-passing appearances, differentiating between that. But generally, bhakti is supposed to be an emotional quality where buddhi is not given much importance. That is the general feeling. Is it not? Because even when a person every day goes to the temple or does some puja every morning, we say that he is a great devotee. But our Shastras do not say that. Shastras means the scriptures. And the highest of bhakti scripture is Srimad Bhagavatam, which was told to King Parikshit the last 7 days of his life by Shukadeva. That is, you know the story that after Vyasadeva had written all the Mahabharatam as well as compiled the Vedas and written the Brahma Sutra also, he was not happy. So one day when Narada came to him, he expressed that he is still not feeling fulfilled. And Narada advised him that you have done everything, but to fill your own mind as well as others' mind, you have to write something exclusively on devotion, on bhakti. Because bhakti is basically, it is the truly speaking, it is nothing different from the universal love on which our whole universe is created or is sustained. So, although Puranas were written for the general public, earlier the Upanishadic Vyakhyana and all, they are not for en masse consumption. Generally people will not understand. But for the general public, he had written 18 Puranas also, who are meant, those who are based on stories, so meant for the general people. But still he was not. That is how he started writing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the highest Bhakti Grantha, even regarded by the Vaishnavites as the highest Bhakti Grantha. Now let us see what this Bhakti Grantha, which is regarded by all the devotees of the world, what that Bhagavatam says about it. We will not go very deep into many, not deep, we will go into the deep but not elaborate on the various parts of Bhagavatam, but we will take from Bhagavad Gita also, what are they pointing at. So, whereas in Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana, which is considered to be the highest knowledge-oriented text and practical for the, mainly written for the Rajas, there's a lot of stories about the kings, the good kings whose heart was pained by ruling the kingdom, because ruling the kingdom is not an easy job, you have to punish people also. So the kings used to leave their kingdom and go away into the forest. So it has, Yoga Vasishtha has recorded some stories where the king, after he was wandering, finally came in contact with some hermit in the forest, some rishi in the forest, and got the ultimate knowledge of truth, which made them absolutely proof to any affectation of the world. Mark my word. That the knowledge should make us absolutely unaffected. We will respond to everything. In sorrow we will shed tears, in happiness we will smile, but nothing will affect our mind. So such an unaffected stability, if the kings have, then they can rule the kingdom without any difficulty. And that is how the stories there go, that one king, two were friends, both of them had left. One king, after getting the knowledge, came back and he was ruling the kingdom. The other friend, he was going around still, and one day he happened to see the king that he has come back again and ruling the kingdom. Then he asked that, how did you do it? What happened to you? Then that king tells his friend that how did he overcome the affectation created by the rule, by the behavior of a king, of his, the difficult jobs that he had to perform, that he will not be affected in any way by that. Now in Yoga Vasishtha, there is a shloka which says, Vichara Tishnatam etya dhihi pashyati param padam dirgha samsara rogasya vicharo hi mahaushadham. Vicharaha hi mahaushadham. That vichara is the greatest medicine. Mahaushadham means the great medicine. For what? Dirgha samsara rogasya. That samsara, the word, we often use the samsara everywhere in Bengali, Hindi, everywhere. Samsara, the word has come from samyak sarati iti samsara. Samyak, for samyak, sarati iti samsara. Sarati means drifting, moving. That means in this world, in the created universe, nothing is stable. Everything, the very nature of the world is drifting. It has to change. Creation means change. Creation means what was not there is being produced, and that will undergo a change with time, and that will finally get destroyed. But this simple truth which we see all around, that nothing is stable here, nothing is permanent here, still we don't remember that. We try to hold on to our loved ones, we try to hold on to our properties, hold on to our fame and whatnot. Whatever we possess, we try to hold on as if it will be there till the end. You know, various stories are there. One frog is eating it is being eaten by a snake. Half of the body has been eaten by the snake. And there is a fly, and the frog is pushing out the tongue to collect the fly and eat the fly. Half of its own body has been eaten away, but it still holds on, tries to get the fly and eat. We don't think in that manner. Often we do that. We are about to leave our body, but still we hold on to the property, not giving anything even to the brother's son also. Lot of property, and we have holding it so much that we have developed an ego. Where is the property? Outside there might be or there may not be. But it is our inside. Inside I feel that I have this, I have this. If your mind goes, suppose something happens to the brain, you will not know that you have this. Or even if the property has been usurped by somebody, as long as you don't get the news, it doesn't bother you. Only when you come to know that you have lost, then only you get worried about it. So we are trying to hold on to things, not remembering the futility, the nature of drifting, nature of everything in the world. So that is the samsara. So the shloka is saying that it is the oldest disease of human being. Dirgha samsara roga. We feel that when we have some disease, we call it disease. But this holding on to the drifting worldly things itself is the greatest disease. And he says that the only medicine, the greatest medicine which can make us free from this disease is Vichara. Why? He says in the first line, Vichara tishnatam etya dhihi pashyati parampadam. We always have some idea about God realization, as if one day God will come and we will see, either in meditation or during puja and all. When we go to the scriptures, it is not at all like that. It is entirely different. Our scriptures are extremely rational, and we not being rational, we find it difficult to understand the scriptures. But if we start with a fresh mind, fresh intelligence, we will find that everything is rational there. That it is who is going to realize God, if at all we call about God. Who is going to realize God? Is it not our mind and intelligence, our inner being, which is going to realize God? Now, whatever we may say about God, if you say that God dimension is universal, He is the purest, He doesn't have any of the sinfulness, any of the taint, He is such pure and all. Now, one thing is to say all that thing, or to look at some concept of God that He will give me this, give me that and all. But realization means that God which we are thinking to be God has to appear in my own within. Then only it becomes a vision. If God appears in front, that is not the God vision. He is just like the worldly things who has come and who will go away again. It's a fleeting. The real God vision is within. And how can we have that God realization without our mind and intelligence taking the godly dimension? As much pure our mind will be, so much of purity only we can realize. You can think about it. Maybe it's a new statement, but it's absolutely true. Suppose you are seeing a person also. You know that he is very pure, very honest, very noble. It's all hearsay. How will you know his nobility and purity and all until your mind has those dimensions? कोई अगर प्योर शुद्ध है, सोचने के लिए हमारा मन शुद्ध होना चाहिए. जब तक मन शुद्ध नहीं होता है तब तक हम शुद्धि को पूरी तरह से समझ नहीं सकते, अनुभव नहीं कर सकते. रियलाइजेशन मीन्स अनुभूति, अनुभव करना. वो कहाँ अनुभव कहाँ होता है? सारा अनुभव अंदर में होता है, बाहर कोई अनुभव नहीं है. एवरीथिंग वी हैव टू रियलाइज विद इन. So any level of purity must appear within to realize that. That much only we can realize. Unless the mind expands to the level of God, we cannot realize God. Whatever the level of the mind, up to that only we can realize. So the real sadhana becomes purification of our mind and intelligence, making it vaster and vaster of the universal dimension. As much we can make it, so much will be our realization. It is not just one point realization. As much pure we can be. That is why we say that it is even more uniform and purer than the space, which has no variation at all. But the space is jada, it is inert. Within our real identity is conscious. So it is even beyond the level of the spatial dimension. That dimension, unless it appears within through our mind and intelligence, we will not be able to realize God. So in Bhakti Shastra also, in the Bhakti Granthas also, it is by the sadhana is of purification of the mind and intelligence to find the oneness with God. Suppose, where is the end of our usual bhakti puja? We say, the Shastras say, Devo bhutva devan apyeti. That is your Deva puja, whichever you are considering to be God. Each person has his own concept of God. He does worship for that God. Now, the Shastras say that he will become that, when he becomes identified with that God, then is the end of his puja. That is the aim of our Deva puja, is to become that Deva. How do you become the Deva? Not that external powers or anything like that. The mind is so much devoted to that, so much given to that contemplation of that Deva, that you forget the world, you forget yourself also. This point is extremely important. Until we forget our small existence in this huge world, we will remain small. We will remain full of desires, getting this, getting that, or not avoiding this, avoiding that. That is raga and dvesha, clinging to what I like, hating what I dislike. All these things will haunt us until we become, जब तक न हम वो universal dimension अपनाते हैं अपने मन में. So whether we approach through bhakti or through knowledge, the ultimate sadhana is to purify and expand our mind and intelligence so that we can realize the ultimate truth. It has to take up the dimension of that truth. So Vichara is that kind of engagement of the intelligence. Vichara tikshnatam etye dhihi pashyati param padam. So that our buddhi, our understanding, understanding becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And finally, it sees the ultimate goal. Sees means it is not with the vision. It is an ikshana, we say. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called ikshana. That means it is a vision of the understanding, vision of the dhi. The realization is in the dhi. How will it see? Until it becomes purified to that level, it will not be able to see that. So it is the purity and sharpness of the buddhi and purity of the mind that makes us realize God. So we should not think that in bhakti there is no role for vichara. The purification is done by Vichara. It starts from a very elementary level and it goes to that height. And in the ultimate level, there is no difference between Bhakti and Jnana, as Bhagavad Gita says. I will try to cover that. That purest Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, and Shuddha Jnana, the ultimate knowledge, they are not different. Without Bhakti, the emotional part of it, the knowledge will become absolutely impotent. It will not be able to do anything. It will not give him the joy also. That is what Narada told Vedavyasa. That however you may do jnana with your buddhi and you attain that, it will not give you fulfillment until the emotional part of our being also is unified with it. It expands, it takes that form. We will not have the fulfillment of bhakti. So we should not, we will not have the fulfillment of jnana. And in bhakti also, we will hold on to limited things, small things, until the jnana comes and it takes us, our mind, to the universal dimension, makes it vast, all-pervading, all-embracing. We will not have the fulfillment of bhakti, the ultimate point of bhakti. That is why in Srimad Bhagavata, the last shloka, last but one, it is 12th skandha, 13th chapter, 18th verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Param Priyam Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam Tad Shinman Supathan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchyen Naraha. See, here the words to be noted is Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam. This is a very, very important line. What is the sequence? He says jnana. First, we have to understand theoretically what is the truth. We have to contemplate on the truth, which we do with our buddhi and mind. Now, that contemplation will not become powerful unless there is vairagya in it. What is the meaning of vairagya? We all think that vairagya means leaving home and walking off, going around in the forest. No. Vairagya has come from viraga. Raga means color. Viraga means colorless. That means we are seeing the world always with applying it some color. The world has got variety, variegated color, but the real concern is about the color we are applying to the world. What is the color we are applying? That is, we are applying our likes and dislikes. That this I like, so I cling to it. I run after it. I like to be with it. This I do not like, so I come away from it. I avoid it. I hate it. I am intolerant about it. So the world becomes, we get affected by the world not because what the world is, but because of this clinging to what I like and hating what I dislike. The world will have always saintly people and criminal people also. But they will not disturb us at all until we start hating criminal or clinging to certain other things. It is not the world which is binding us. It is our ragadvesha, our clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. That causes all the affectation, suffering. That is what binds us. So, vairagya means when we see the world as it is, And we see ourselves also as we are. We see the world also applying the color of my own me, mine, and my likes and dislikes. We see ourselves also, because it is the me, I think, my body, mind, personality is what I am. So any defect, we don't want to agree. We try to put the blame on others. Similarly, any good things, we want to take the credit of it also more than what is true. So why it is happening? Because we are applying a special color to what I am doing, that me, our thinking about our body, mind, personality, what it is doing. And that is the main reason for all the worldly strife and gadwad. Everywhere. It is in the individual, and the society is a collection of the individual. When the society becomes a collection of individual, where each individual is having this me and mine feeling, and corresponding to that they are swarthi in Hindi. They are selfish, they are self-centered. The whole society will also fight with each other. That is, one country will fight with the other, one dharmavalambi will fight with another dharmavalambi. It is all coming from that same me and mine. So it doesn't, if we can get rid of the ragadvesha, then it is not only a fulfillment of our individual life, but there lies the ultimate auspicious goal for the society also. When we are rid of our smallness, our constrictions, of our likes and dislikes, the society will become much more livable, joyful, and auspicious for everybody. So he says, Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. This knowledge of the truth must generate this vairagya in us. We should start seeing the world as it is, and we should start seeing ourselves also as we are. That means all partiality should go. We should become more and more impartial in our judgments, and we will become more and more impersonal in our behavior. So when we say vairagya, if I speak in the workshops or management workshops or so, the moment I say vairagya, they will not like. Nobody wants vairagya. But if I say impersonality in English, they will like it. This is the understanding going wrong because of the translation. Actually, it gives us so much of impersonality that decision making becomes simple. So much of impartiality and impersonality that decisions, the right decisions will come automatically to our mind. It will not be hindered by our ragadvesha, our own desires, our own preference and prejudice. So the right decisions will come, the life will become easy. So vairagya is not anything bad. Vairagya is one of the greatest fulfilling property that we should have. People may say that, oh, but when you become vairagi, then you leave family and home and go away. You don't have any more attachment. Well, attachment will not be there, but it is not that they become negligent to everybody and say hateful about the family and all they go. A person, a real sannyasin, takes to sannyasa not out of a constriction that he is leaving something and going away, but his mind becomes so vast that he embraces the whole world. And in the process, he cannot remain in a family run by constricted decisions, constricted emotions. Because the whole world is for him. Suppose anybody from the world, be he from the Africa or USA or Europe or Sri Lanka or anywhere, any person coming for some spiritual instruction to Swamiji, he will not have any differential treatment. Depending on the askance, that is ascesis, depending on the inquiry of the person, he will deal with the person. If a real inquirer comes, there should not be any difficulty in giving him the deepest truth, revealing him the deepest truth. But revelation is done according to the receptivity of the person. That will determine, not his nationality or caste or anything at all. So Vairagya makes us an universal citizen. So he is no longer able to stay in a small constricted household. That is why they leave. It is not out of any rejection or dispassion, as we say. It's not that. The mind grows to the universal level. So he says, Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam. So these three together, the knowledge of the truth, which must result in Vairagya, otherwise the knowledge is not proper. If the knowledge is proper, then it must result in impersonality and impartiality in us. And this knowledge and the Vairagya together must result in bhakti, he is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then what is this bhakti? Bhakti comes in the third stage. If we say that the bhakti doesn't need knowledge, doesn't need vichara, doesn't need vairagya, it is not right. More and more we'll start loving the truth or loving God. In Bhakti Shastra we say loving God. The world comes away from there. More and more your love is for God. Your attachment and partial clinging and possessiveness will definitely go. If we are devoted to God more and more and our possessiveness is not possessiveness and ego, ahankara, and possessiveness in Sanskrit is kartritva, bhoktritva, mamatva, mamata. Ahankara and mamata. These two are not decreasing, means it is not bhakti. It must go. But it doesn't mean that you will not love the world, you will love all the more. Because what we are doing now is we are looking for small love. From this person, this animal, that animal, or from objects also. Is it not? When somebody loves me, I am happy. If he or she doesn't love me, I also cannot love. It is generally like that. But the real, what is it we should think, we should meditate on this, that what is it that making us fulfilled? When, suppose we say love, somebody is loving me. What is the fulfilling element there? Is it the person or the love coming from the person? Even if we love somebody, suppose even a dog, we love the dog. In the ashram, a dog has come for some time, so everybody is now smiling. All the disharmony and all, that will go. For some time, it may not be permanent, because everybody is happy with by loving the God. Now, what is pleasing them? Is it the dog, or is it the love which is oozing out, which is overflowing from within? It is the love which is fulfilling us. So once we are able to detect that what fulfills us is love, it is not from where it is coming, then automatically you will start loving everybody, the whole world, without any distinction. The other person may love you, may not love you, it doesn't matter at all. You are fulfilled by loving. The love comes out and it first touches your mind and intelligence, is it not? The love which is welling forth from inside, where does it first touch? Where will be the effect first? In our own mind and intelligence. So we get fulfilled by that love. Once we discover this truth, it is an avishkara, it is a discovery. Once we discover this truth, we get away from all the bondages created by our human relationships. All the trouble we are hearing from so many places all over the world, we are hearing it is only problem with somebody not loving and all that. All this will go, because you will be fulfilled by the touch of the love which is coming from yourself, which is going everywhere, radiating everywhere. And those who come, come within that, those who would get influenced by that love also will be happy, also will be touched by the love, and they will be fulfilled by that. So he says that Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam. This is the last shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Naishkarmya Siddhi is one of the greatest book written by Shankaracharya or his Sureshwaracharya, his disciple, on Advaita philosophy or the practice of this Vedanta. This Naishkarmya does not mean doing nothing outside. If you just sit tight and think that I am not doing anything, that means that doing as an activity, that you may do something, you may not do something, which means kartritva, that means doership, is fully alive in you. Whether you do something or do not do something, how does it differ? You have a doership in your mind. That is why what you are doing, you say, I am doing it. If you are not doing, you are saying, I am not doing it. But really speaking, we are neither the kartritva nor the bhaktritva. Neither we do anything nor we enjoy anything. How does it happen? By this jnana, viraga, bhakti, we reach a state where we find that the whole universe is, you can call godly, you can call our Atma, you can call Paramatma, you can call Brahman, or you can call consciousness. And all the objects and all the unimaginable activities of the universe, they are all appearing in that consciousness. It is scientifically also true. Do you know a world unless it does not register in your mind? We will not know. While sleeping, we don't know the world, because it is not registering in our mind. We know although the world may be outside, but the world we know is whatever is appearing in our mind. Nothing of the world is getting in. It's an impression within our mind. That is the world we are coming to know. So as my real identity, which is the consciousness, it doesn't do anything, doesn't enjoy anything, there cannot be any change at all, because it is not in the objects which are changeful. It is the only immortal, unchanging truth which we can know. There cannot be anything unchangeable in this created universe. There cannot be anything, immortality cannot be found in the universe. It is only the revealer of the universe, in which the consciousness, in which the whole universe is appearing to be, only that is beyond time, beyond change, beyond affectation, beyond everything. Now when we identify that as my identity, that is, now I am thinking this body-mind personality is what I am. So I am doing something, I am enjoying something, I am sorry, I am happy, all these things. When we shift that identity to this universal consciousness, which I really am, whether you know it or not, you are that. That we should understand. We may not know it, but we are in fact that. When we shift the identity there, we find that the whole universe is working, is playing in its own manner. I am nowhere connected to anything at all. I am only revealer or a seer of everything. So, this is the real Naishkarmya, that means non-doership. Non-doership means we shift our identity from the body-mind personality, which is always doing and enjoying, to the real identity which does not do anything at all. There is no question of doing, because it is not in the objective plane in which the whole universe appears to be. The universe which contains my body-mind personality as a small speck. See, in this consciousness, it is not inside me. My body-mind personality is part of the universe. It's a product of nature. That when the whole universe, including my own body-mind personality, is appearing in that consciousness, then we discover Naishkarmya. This is the Bhakti Grantha is saying in the last verse. We should understand where bhakti leads us. So, jnana viraga bhakti. Then he says, tat shinvan supathan. Listening to this Bhagavatam, this Grantha, supathan, reading it, meditating on it, contemplating on the truths discussed constantly by going through it, introspecting, what will happen? Our mind intelligence, our being will undergo a transformation process. It is not that the God is sitting beyond the sky or somewhere yonder in the sky, and He will one day come and tell me that, oh, I am happy with you, what do you want? That God is an elementary God for the desireful people. Once we really become inquiring about the God from there comes back to our own heart. Even all devotional shastras will say that God is within, not outside. He is all pervading. Even other religions also will say He is all pervading. All pervading means He is right there within us also. Do we have to go anywhere to meet Him? He is all knowing. Then why do we have to pray to that God? Before your prayer comes, He knows what you need. And it is extremely beneficial that He does not fulfill all our prayers. Because He knows what is good for us. If all our prayers were fulfilled by God, then we would have been definitely in trouble. Rabindranath has a song also. Song or kavita. বঞ্চিত করে বাঁচালে মরে আমি সং আমি বহু বাসনায় প্রাণপণে চাই বঞ্চিত করে বাঁচালে মরে. With my all multifarious desires, always I am craving for so many things. By depriving me, you have saved me. He is telling God that by depriving me of all these desires, you have saved me. So, tat shinvan supathan vicharana parvo. See, listening to it, meditating on it, introspecting on it, what do? Vicharana. That means doing vichara on it. That is reading it, thinking about it. You have to discriminate between what is true and what is not. And as it becomes our full-time pursuit, full-time means it is full pursuit, not that you cannot do anything. While doing anything, this will always be in the mind that what I am doing, am I getting attached to it, or I am having the universal dimension or not? Where I am becoming constricted in my behavior, critical in my behavior, and where I am getting relieved from it. Bhaktya vimucchen naraha. See, then after vicharana paro bhaktya vimucchen naraha. In reading shastras, this is the way we have to read, to understand the real meaning. After doing the vichara, bhaktya vimucchen naraha. Then the real bhakti, the bhakti to purify the bhakti, that vichara is also vichara is necessary. Then the bhakti becomes purified, and that liberates us. Without that, bhakti also will bind us. It will not liberate us. The bhakti has to be purified by vichara. Then only it will liberate us. I will just read out some points. Let us see whether it is understandable. Initially, God is some supreme power somewhere in the yonder sky, different from me, far away from me. We worship never thinking whether we have come nearer to God or we are coming away from God. 50 years I am worshipping. We never think back to find out of this 50 years of practice, have I gone anywhere nearer to God, or have I become better? Is my mind more peaceful? Generally it is the ulta, the reverse of it. So we don't think about it. Here the vichara is necessary. Suppose you go on taking food. You were hungry, you started taking food. After eating for half an hour, you remain identically hungry. Will you not doubt the food? Then what is this I am taking? I am eating. Am I eating then? Why the hunger is not going? So should we not question our puja also? That I have been doing in the puja, if I have been doing it in the right manner, I should go nearer God, or my mind should become purer or peaceful, more more loving. Has anything that is spoken of in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, anything has happened. In Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter is called Bhakti Yoga. There the most important part is at the end where the Bhakta Lakshanas are spoken of. That means the devotee, initially we are saying God, worship, mandir, etc. But when the devotional starts taking a real reformatory role, transforming role, then it all becomes a conglomeration of about 30 qualities or so. Exact number I don't know. In each chapter it is different. More or less, the lakshanas of jnana, bhakti, gunatita, all are same. In Bhagavad Gita, different chapters it comes. And these characteristics are the more important. Because suppose you may say that, well, when one realizes God or experiences the truth, these virtues will come to him. But how can we have, unless I have experienced God, how can I have the virtues? No, you don't have to have the experience of God. If you sit idle, for till I will have experienced God, then I will pursue the virtues, then it will never happen. You will not experience God also. So if a person has experienced God, if these are the virtues seen in his character, these are the characteristics of a knower or a God-realized person, then for every sadhaka it is mandatory that they follow those characteristics. Because for that you don't have to wait. Right from the beginning, say amanitvam, adambhitvam, or in 12th chapter it is adveshta sarva bhutanam. It starts from the 13th shloka of 12th chapter. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukha kshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridha nishchayaha mayyarpita mano buddhi yo mad bhaktas same priyaha. It goes on till 19th. There's a last but one verse. All these are enumeration of the qualities that should adorn a real devotee. So for any sadhaka, these are the characteristics to be practiced. As these adorn our character, our personality, we come nearer and nearer to God realization. So although all these are coming from when we understand, when we realize our universal identity, जब हमारा स्वरूप जो कि विश्वात्मा है उसको जान लेता है, जानने के बाद क्या हुआ, सब कुछ तो एक ही है, हम जान लिया कि सब में हम हैं, तो फिर राग द्वेष का कोई सवाल ही नहीं है उसमें. आपके प्रति राग होगा या आपके प्रति द्वेष होगा, कुछ भी नहीं होगा. जब हम जानते हैं कि आत्मा सब में एक ही है और सारा कुछ हम ही हैं, then all the problems, troubles coming from the smallness of our identity, all our troubles are coming from our thinking that I am small, restricted by, limited by this body, mind identity. They all will go. Because you are then universal, all pervading. You are identifying with that truth. But जब तक वो नहीं हो पाता है, तब क्या हम बैठे रहेंगे कि कब हम इस सत्य को अनुभव करेंगे, अनुभूति में लाएंगे और उसके बाद हम सोचेंगे कि हमारा ये जो कुछ है सब कुछ आ जाएगा, क्वालिटीज़? नहीं, तब तो कभी भी नहीं आएगा. ये क्वालिटीज़, जैसे हम हमेशा एग्जांपल देते हैं कि सोचिए कि एक जैसे हमारे तिब्बत एरिया, तिब्बत to Nepal and the entire Himalayan range, it's a huge glacier, the name I have forgotten. From there most of the rivers are coming down. Some are going towards the west, the 7 rivers passing through Punjab and all Ganga, Yamuna and so many rivers coming down towards east and middle also. And some rivers are going to the other side, say the greatest river is Brahmaputra, which is first coming down towards China and then taking a turn and passing through Assam and Dibrugarh and all going down to the sea. So all are coming from the same glacier on the top. So they are coming from the oneness. They are all originating from the source which is one there and becoming different rivers. Like that, when one identifies with that oneness, when he understands his real identity, From there, like the multifarious rivers, all the characteristics which we call the qualities, they come down. Because of the oneness, that they don't have that limited, constricted identity anymore. So they will have all this Adveshta, Sarva Bhutanam, Maitra, Karuna, everything will be there for them because of the unified vision. Like that, the whole thing is coming from there. But suppose you go along any of the river, suppose you practice Adveshta, Sarva Bhutanam, that is getting rid of Dvesha Bhava, affectedness, caused by intolerance about others, blameful, it doesn't go in easily. Even for great sadhaks also, it's very difficult to get rid of it. Suppose you practice that. As you go up the river, more and more up the river, what happens? All other rivers flowing down from there, are they not coming closer? So this is the hill. You are taking any of the river path. As we are going up, the difference between the separation from all other rivers are becoming lesser and lesser, is it not? समझने में कोई difficulty है? एकदम ऊपर चले जाने से सारा एक हो गया वहाँ. तो हम अगर किसी भी एक गुण को लेके हम आगे बढ़ते चलते हैं तो सारा गुण हम में आना शुरू होगा. सब कुछ जो कुछ भी आ रहा है सब कुछ आना शुरू होगा. हम जितना वो एकत्व के पास पहुँचेंगे उतना ही characteristics of the knower will adorn us. So this characteristics of a devotee is very, very important. We should every day read one verse, one word at least, and meditate over that. What does it mean? If you can meditate, you will find that each quality they have mentioned, the height of that is nothing but the ultimate truth, our universal identity. You introspect on it and go over that. Any of the qualities, because they are all coming from there. If you take it to its ultimate peak, then you will reach that. So as we go up and up, other qualities also will adorn us. So for any sadhak, rather than to wait, one day I will have the realization of God, and then I will become free of all these छोटेपन, स्वार्थी व्यवहार, वो छोड़ के हमें वो बनने के लिए जो कुछ भी उनका क्वालिटी, उनका जो वर्च्यूज़ है, जो कुछ गुण है, उनको अपनाना चाहिए. अपनाते 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 एक दिन बन जाएंगे. राम से लागी रहो भाई, बनत बनत बनी जाए. राम से लागी रहो भाई. What is Ram? Ram is the ultimate truth, the ultimate auspicious goal. How can we lagi raho bhai? How can we be always connected to it? Through the practicing all the gunas of Maryada Purushottam Ram. Whatever has been described by Valmiki. Actually Rama means our Atma. Atma Rama, Rama is Atma. So all the qualities that is described in Bhagavad Gita or anywhere about the Atma, if we remain connected to it, remain anchored there, then banat banat bani jai. Automatically we don't have to struggle or anything. Those qualities will be making me Ram. We will become Ram through that. So I was reading it. Why Vichara instituted through association of scriptures and Mahatmas, we accept that God is everywhere and can be known and felt in me as our own self. So the first Vichara will appear from either you from the scripture you gain or listening to some lecture. Like that, it will start working in us. That our true identity is the universal self. I am not a small being. I am not limited by my body, mind, personality. So there is something where I can do everything remaining unaffected by the world. Nothing will be able to touch me. We will call the world that give me more troubles, not only troubles, anything, come, whatever you want to bring me. And accept it and remain unaffected. When we look within, our whole focus shifts to the devotional qualities that will enable me to experience God. This is what I started with. That when the focus changes from the external God to the realization of God as He is within me, then actually you know what happens. As long as it is external God, our mind is full of desires. That God will give me this, God will protect me, I will never die, God will protect me. Those who have survived in an accident, oh, by the mercy, grace of God, they have survived. What about the people who died? Have they not died by the grace of God? We are so partial and we don't analyze these thoughts. The people who are dying also dying because of grace of God. So, our whole vision will change from pleasing an external God to fulfill my desire to becoming God by looking into our own within and cultivating more and more divine qualities in us, the bhakta lakshanas in us, devotional qualities in us. It goes together. If we still am full of desires, what will happen? You may think that God is here in meditation also. Oh, my Gurudev said focus here. But the moment in the family some trouble comes, you will think of the God in the yonder. Is it not? वो वेदांता सब कुछ चला गया है उस समय. Oh God, why did it happen to me? Please save me, please do this. You are thinking of somebody else, not thinking. यहाँ पे सोच के कोई नहीं कर सकते हैं. Actually, we need not pray because God knows everything. If He has to protect, He will protect. इसीलिए बोलते हैं कि सोचिए कि एक माँ है, उनका बेटा कुछ एक्सीडेंट हुआ है. माँ के मन ऐसे ही बेटा के प्रति मंगलाकांक्षी नहीं होगा. माँ का मन हमेशा तो मंगलाकांक्षी ही होगा ना. लेकिन वो अगर ऐसे सोच सकती है कि हमारा बेटा ठीक हो जाए, उसे नहीं उतना स्पष्ट रूप से वो नहीं सोच के, उनका मन अगर सबके बेटे के प्रति मंगलार्थी बन सकता है, मतलब मे एवरीबडी बी ऑल राइट. That means expand the mind from your constricted, limited circle to an universal level. उनका बेटा जल्दी ठीक हो जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं बोलना है कि हाँ हम तो सबके लिए सोच लिए हैं अभी भगवान, अभी हमारा बेटा ठीक हो जाए. वो तो I think one boy was there who was told that you are always asking for things, that is why we will not give. When you say that, no mother, you don't give me anything, then we will give you chocolate or something else, whatever he is trying. So he will say that, no, I don't want. I have said I don't want, so give me now. The focus shifts from external God to the qualities of a devotee. That is why the 12th chapter ends with so many shlokas, about 30 or so qualities of the devotees. As the qualities and concepts deepen, we start feeling love for God, the source of all those qualities. This love, how to love God, you don't have to do. As the thought of God, thought of these qualities, they grow in us, they are cultivated in us, already your mind will be full of gratitude. It will bend down for the universal Father or universal Mother or the Prakriti or the Lord who is playing this beautiful game. The mind will be automatically full of love because the love is the force of creation. As we develop more and more fondness for God, we want to see Him, feel Him, interact with Him as somebody very close to us. Not close, but closest to us, because He is our very self. So our closeness to God, initially it is outside, some murti in the puja room or somewhere else. Then as we start feeling love for Him, He starts playing within. We no longer depend on the murti outside or anything. He starts playing within. Then what happens? If we are fortunate to have a Sadguru who represents all those qualities, then devotional focus shifts from the external Guru, external God, to the Sadguru. Now the focus becomes, you are seeing the characteristics, you are seeing what happens. That is why in the second chapter, after Krishna has discussed the whole truth in the Sankhya Yoga, then Arjuna is saying, you have explained it very well, Krishna. I have understood also to some extent. But tell me what happens to a person, a human being who realizes this truth. I am interested in that. Because after all, whatever the concept of the God, we have to realize the God. And what happens to us when we realize the God, that is most important. Even if there is no God, it doesn't matter. What matters is that by having practiced the no God also, what are the characters, how am I behaving in the world? How am I responding to the world? How am I getting affected by the world or unaffected, remaining unaffected in the world? That is why here in 18th chapter, I am just saying there is no time to explain further, that in the 18th chapter, Krishna has told Arjuna that I have told you everything, all the jnana. Vimishaitad asheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. I have told you everything I knew, all the secret, everything. Gushyad gushyataram. More secret than the secret I have told you. Now you think over it well and do whatever you like. Vimishaitad asheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. That means who will do? Arjuna will do by applying his buddhi again, whatever he has understood, knowing that he will have to apply. Saying that the next verse, Krishna is saying, but Arjuna, you are my most favorite. I cannot but tell you the sarvaguhyatamam bhuyam. What is the greatest secret? I have told you more secret than the secret. All the comparative degrees are over. Because I am fond of you, you are like me, myself. So I must tell you the greatest secret. What is that? Then he says, Manmana bhava mad bhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. Then sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. That you think of me alone, your mind, let it be completely given to me. And you don't have to follow the codes of dharma and adharma. Whatever I tell you, you simply follow that. I will take you to the ultimate liberated point. That is here what happens finally, the God appears as the Guru. And the real bhakti or samarpana, bhakti means, the true bhakti means samarpana. Surrender is the true bhakti. I have not been able to do it today, but generally I should have told that surrender is the ultimate pahchan, ultimate characteristic of bhakti. Where is the surrender? We will say that I have surrendered everything to God. But actually we generally surrender to our own desires. Telling that, oh, God is asking me to do this and all. How will you know what God wants? We never know. Only when we are absolutely free of our desires, then we know what God wants. Because the mind becomes completely in tune with the infinite. And whatever you want is God's want also. And you go on doing. That is why the decision making becomes easy at that point. Otherwise, we will follow our own judgment, our own desires, our own likes and dislikes and think that I have done samarpana. But that whole thing gets tested when you are in front of a guru. Because the guru is asking you to do something you will not be able to do. You say, no, it will be sinful. That Arjuna said, what you are asking me to fight the war, it is the most sinful. How can I fight my own grandfather, beloved grandfather and my teacher? I cannot do it. So he is not able to surrender his own ideas, own concepts, own conclusions about his own life. He is still trying to guide himself. The real samarpana dawns and it is understood only when we are in the association of a guru. And the test comes when we have difficulties and we don't want to follow whatever the instruction or the guru's words are. It's very, very rare for the devotees to follow the words of the guru. It's not easy. One devotee had come to our ashram and saying that, Swamiji, I have surrendered everything to you. My tan, man, dhan, sab kuch de diya hai. From today onwards, I will stay in your ashram. Please allow me to stay here and guide me. Swamiji told that, see, you have been very adamant and obstinate in your life, so much so that you could not stay with your wife, you fought with your children, you fought with your company. For you to stay in an ashram will be impossible. I can guide you, I already guide you, I can guide you further. But staying in the ashram is not for you, because at home you have married your own according to your preference, you have your own children, you have joined a service by your own choice. There you have chosen everything, and that also you are not able to tolerate. In an ashram, people have come from different places, not only India, from outside also. This lady has come from Malaysia. One is a doctor, one is a professor, one is so many, from all different cultural background, language background, economic background, everything is different, age, everything is different in an ashram. To stay there, is it going to be easy? In a family, we cannot stay without difference of opinion. In an ashram, it is everything. So it is possible only by the Guru Bhakti, because what is common in all of them? In spite of all the differences, they have come surrendering to the Guru, provided they have come surrendering to the Guru. Then that becomes the crucible. That is, they are all fried in the crucible, and that bhakti grows in an ashram. But Pondicherry Mother said that everybody says that, Mother, I have surrendered everything to you. But alas, what happens is that they surrender only their common sense and nothing else. When they come to the ashram, it is found that they surrendered. I am not talking about our ashramites, I am saying what Mother said about Pondicherry. They surrendered their common sense, nothing else. So the test comes then. If you have surrendered to God, that means everything is being done by God, then whatever happens in life, you should accept it. Then there should not be any complaint at all. Whatever to be corrected, you will do by your own manner, you will go on doing. Whatever comes, you will accept. Whatever goes also, you will accept. If you have surrendered to God, then there cannot be any desire, any complaint at all. That is bhakti. We will stop. Everything cannot be done in 1 hour. We will just chant one bhakti shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is in Rasa Leela. This time on the same topic, I spoke in Bhagavata Satram, one English lecture. Generally we give in the 10 days, one English lecture by me, one English lecture by Ma will be there. This time I chose the topic of Vichara, the role of Vichara in Bhakti, which is quite rare as a topic also. And while speaking, I finally got lost in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, because generally I don't read Srimad Bhagavatam. To speak, I had to go through it, and I was singing, and I got completely lost, and I never knew that Rasa Leela is such it is the highest dimension of a knower, that it has been spoken of. I got lot of illumination, ideas from illumination actually, from reading that part. So automatically I spoke on Rasa Leela. Many people found it very interesting, but I don't know who all understood and who all did not understand. It's of a height of devotion. That's the ultimate of devotion is spoken of. See, the world we call it is Bhagavan's Leela, Bhagavan ki Leela hai. We can call the world Bhagavan's Leela only when we understand, we know who is the Leeladhesha. That means when we have the pahchan of Bhagavan, when we have experienced that the whole world is nothing but Bhagavan, then only the world will be his Leela. Otherwise it will not be his Leela. We will get still caught by raga dvesha towards the world objects and world situations. Only when we find that it is God, everything is God, then it becomes God's play. For us also it becomes then Leela. Otherwise it is not Leela for us. We say Leela, it is not Leela for us. So it is a verse from there, from the Rasa Leela. There also the highest point is when the Gopikas, they felt proud about their Sangha with Krishna, that their association with Krishna, they became proud about it. Immediately Krishna vanished. They were lost. The moment the smallness dawns in our mind, Because before that what was happening? Their great regard for Krishna and Krishna's association is very important. His transcendental association. He is called Manmatha Manmatha. Manmatha means our Kamadeva, the Lord of desires and Lord of sex also. He is called Kamadeva. He is called Manmatha because he deludes our mind. When the Kama appears, we get deluded by it. So his name is given Manmatha. And Krishna or Lord is called Manmatha Manmatha. That means who has deluded Manmatha's mind. So Kama cannot do anything there. How can Kama do? Kama is, the very basic point of Kama is duality. That I am different from others. That is why I am getting attracted or repelled by anything else. When everything is me, then where is the question of Kama coming in? So that is the level from which we have to understand the Rasa Leela. And that was my great discovery before the Satram, that I was overjoyed with that how beautifully it is described. I never happened to take. After that also I have not taken. That day I thought that every day I will read a little Bhagavatam. So far I have never touched it again. Time nahi hai, kya kar sakte hain. तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. He says that Tava Kathamritam, that means, oh God, or Krishna, the immortalizing word, Kathamritam, Tapta Jivanam, that it relieves us of all the dukkhas, the tapas, tritapa we said, the three kinds of tapas from our life. Kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham. When it is spoken of and described and narrated by a kavi means Krantadashi, kavi means a knower, who has identified with the universal truth. So when this Kathamritam or Bhagavatam is narrated by a kavi, then kalmashapaham, it removes all the sinfulness from the heart of people. Why? Because Vyasadeva, after writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was thinking that now whom shall I give it? Who will do the prachara of this? Who will do the propagation? Because to propagate that message, a person has to be in the purest form. Then he thought of Shukadeva, his own son. But he was so pure, even purer than Vyasadeva himself. So he called Shukadeva and taught him Srimad Bhagavatam. And when Parikshit was doing his Prayopabesa for the last 7 days, he was fasting on the bank of Bhagirathi. Then Shukadeva arrived there. Why it is so purifying, transforming? Because it had come out of the Shukadeva's mouth, who was absolutely pure. So, Kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham. When it is spoken of by a knower who has already crossed the ocean of differences, it removes all the sin. Shravanamangalam Srimad Atatam. It always spreads auspiciousness. It always spreads Shritvam. Shritvam means the Adhyatmic power, which is referred to the Lakshmi. Lakshmi is always with the Vishnu Vakshasthalasthitham. Lakshmi is Vishnu's consort. Because Vishnu is the Atma and Lakshmi is the Atma's Prakasha, is manifestation of Atma. That means it is the Adhyatma, radiation of Adhyatmic Shakti from within. Bhuvigrinanti ye bhurida janaha. Those who spread it in the world, either by narration or explanation or interpretation, they are the real givers, not the rich people who give property to the world. The real giving is those who give this kathamritam. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadattatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Would you like to sing? It is so beautiful. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadattatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam Srimadattatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Guru.